Hello and welcome to this very special show on the completion of 3 years of the Modi government. We are calling it Modi 3.0 on the political view. We look at the political hits and misses of the Modi government in the last 3 years. Joining us on the show, Seshadri Chari, Member National Executive and Convenor Foreign Affairs of the BJP. We've got Pawan Kumar Varma, National General Secretary and National Spokesperson of the JDU. And we also have Mr. Pavan Khera, Spokesperson of the Congress, who are joining us right here. Thank you very much, each one of you, for being with us. It's a good time to step back and see how things are, where Indian politics is headed, and where does the Modi government stand amidst it all. I'm going to spend very little time on economy because this is all about politics. And let me begin things with the neutral voice in the show. And Pavan Varma, that's you. Has the government, do you believe, achieved macroeconomic stability? And because it has ushered in the big reform of GST, which was in the making for years now. And isn't that a big green on its report card?
No, there are issues on macroeconomic stability, like perhaps controlling the fiscal deficit, which I give credit to the government for. As regards the passing of the GST bill, I'm glad that the BJP has seen the light after having delayed it for several years when it was in the opposition. And in its passing, the government and all the parties concerned are involved because it's been passed by a near consensus. So I think these are its credits. I would also give the government credit, for instance, for certain schemes of inclusion like the LPG Ujjwala scheme, and to some extent to the Prime Minister's Jan Dhan Yojana, where several accounts have been opened and in around some 25 crore accounts have been opened, even though a great majority of them are zero balance and zero transaction accounts. So there are some pluses. Including, I think, in the infrastructure sector, where I think road building has improved the number of kilometers per day. These are the pluses. But Supriya, I wish to make clear to you that if we are not completely overwhelmed by the well-oiled machine of high projection, promotion and publicity, then we must very clearly see the minuses in the last 3 years. And the biggest minuses to my mind are the lack of creation of jobs, the distress in the agrarian sector, the almost negligible improvement in the all-important area of ease of doing business, the poor capital, private capital formation. So these are areas where the government, in spite of its hype, has failed quite spectacularly.
Okay, I'm just going to keep all of that at bay right now because I think the elephant in the room is job creation. That hasn't happened, and let me take that direct question to Mr. Seshadri Chari. And Mr. Chari, you know, the big pole plank of this government was that jobs will be created. That hasn't happened, and joblessness is something that is going to come back and not just bite policymakers, but Indian society at large. I mean, look at the number of graduates that are coming out of our universities. They're not going to find jobs. Joblessness is a big cause of concern, and the government doesn't seem to be taking that very seriously right now. I mean, yes, there is a publicity blitzkrieg like a Make in India, but it hasn't really taken off. Where are the jobs people are asking after 3 long years?
No, you see, the issue is creation of job is an important aspect in an economy, no doubt about it. And jobs cannot be created overnight, and that too in a country of India's magnitude and population, which is a young population. The age growth, age differential, if you see between other countries, economically developed countries like the West, and if you compare it with India, we have a very young population. So finding jobs for this kind of a whole young population is not a very easy thing to do. But what is more important is, I think this government is tackling an issue which has not been tackled for the last 40-50 years, or at least since emergency, or probably we can even say since 1993 when we started the economic disinvestment program. Since then, job creation has not been the priority for other governments. So there has not been a clear roadmap as far as how to create jobs. So when Modi government came into power, the first thing they did was to emphasize on skill development, and the skill development program was to give different kinds of skills. More than 22 different kinds of skills have been developed. So this along with integration of skill development training with curriculum beginning from 8th standard onwards in CBSE schools. 150 CBSE schools have been earmarked and this has been begun. But there are a number of issues that are taking place that have to be governed in this. But it is not that it has not been accorded priority, it has been accorded priority. But I think job creation is not going to take place overnight. So 3 years is very small period for creation of jobs for such a magnitude of people. So I think that a lot of priority is being given in that sector also. But more importantly, I would say this Make in India program is one program which is really going to give a good impetus to job creation also.
Okay. Okay, just hold your thoughts there because I'm just going to take the debate away from job creation, take a quick question on economy and then move on to pure politics. And Mr. Pawan Khera, you know, when it comes to demonetization, the opposition was staunchly opposed to this. Enough water has passed under the bridge now, Mr. Khera, and is it time now to sit back and assess demonetization? Will you continue to call it a self-goal or do you believe it served a purpose? Because if you look at the electoral victories of the BJP after that, it looks like people were happy with demonetization.
They call demonetization a very bold decision. As bold, I would say, as was dropping the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, where is the data? Did it really impact black money? They are not coming out with the data. I don't know why is the RBI so reticent with bringing out the data. Did it really harm the unorganized sector? Yes, it did. We can see the results on the streets of our small towns and villages. The unorganized sector has resulted in 60% of job loss. But I agree with Mr. Varma. The kind of machinery they have, very, very well oiled, I must say, to sort of go and publicize things that are absolutely counterproductive, but they publicize it so well, they wrap it up so neatly that people take a little time to understand what's hit them. And believe me, demonetization, we are still opposed to. It has hit the country very hard and it has not hit the black money holders at all. The entire money has come back into the accounts. I don't know where is the black money gone. They had promised to bring the black money from abroad. I'm sorry, the black money in India vanished with Vijay Mallya and Lalit Modi. So forget bringing black money from abroad also. They haven't come out with the data. Today, those full page ads do not have data on how many jobs they created. They had promised 2 crore jobs a year and they just created 1,31,000 jobs. So, I mean, when they were promising 2 crore jobs a year, why did Mr. Seshadri Chari stop them from adding this in the manifesto, which was so unrealistic? So, you know, everything later becomes a jumla. Like one head, if Pakistan sends, we'll get 10 heads of theirs. Now, Kiran Rijiju says even that was a jumla. So let them come out with a list of what were jumlas and what were actual realistic promises, and then we'll assess them based on that.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to hold your thoughts there because I have to shift the debate to Pakistan. And Pavan Varma, let me begin this one with both you and Mr. Chari. I'm coming back to you. Just give me a second because Mr. Varma, I do want to shift the focus to Pakistan. Has the Modi government flip-flopped in Pakistan? Blow hot, blow cold? Have we failed to gauge our neighbors really? They've been crests and troughs. I mean, look at how it started. Nawaz Sharif came in for the swearing ceremony. That impromptu stop was made. And look at where things are right now. Kulbhushan Jadhav, we ended up at the International Court of Justice. We're not even at talking terms perhaps. How do you assess the relationship between India and Pakistan and have we flip-flopped on that? Pavan Varma, and then I'm going to get Seshadri Chari to respond to this.
No, I think what the government has lacked with regard to foreign policy as a whole, but specifically with our neighborhood, is a carefully thought out strategic framework. So it's been more impulsive, ad hoc, casual, improvised, last minute, rather than thought out, because interestingly enough, Pakistan and for that matter China are exceptionally strategically consistent in the manner in which they deal with India. I've said this before that Pakistan's policy in handling India is quite clear, and it is one of appeasement or explosive aggression, or one followed by the other. But I think we somehow waffle between both, and I think our policy to Pakistan has shown that. between the air dash from Kabul to Lahore, to the fact that now we are not on talking terms we are almost not on talking terms at all. Between the foreign minister saying that there will be no talks with Pakistan until the perpetrators of the Mumbai attack are brought to book, and within a few weeks the Prime Minister is speaking to Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif on the sidelines of the UFA summit. There has been this flip-flop and lack of both consistency and clarity with Pakistan.
All right, Mr. Chari, I know this is a subject that's close to your heart. You specialize in that matter, and so I'm going to ask you a direct question. Our policy towards Pakistan has always been ambivalent. We've flip-flopped from explosive aggression, as Mr. Pavan Varma says, to appeasement. But in this case, we perhaps have completely failed to gauge Pakistan. I mean, there was this bonhomie of sorts when swearing in and when that Kabul stopover happened. And look at where things are right now. So I'm just trying to ask you, because you specialize in that matter, in hindsight, do you believe we failed to have a more mature relationship with Pakistan?
No, let me put the record straight. Mr. Pawan Varma has been a foreign policy person, so I am not a specialist. I don't do any specialization as far as foreign policy is concerned. I just happen to comment on the subject. But to take that step further, I don't agree with this viewpoint, oft-repeated point, that we have had some sort of a flip-flop as far as Pakistan is concerned. See, India is not dealing with Pakistan since May 2014. Pakistan was not created on May 2014. We have been dealing with Pakistan since 1947, or probably even before, 2 years before 47. Since the demand for Pakistan arose, people have been dealing with Pakistan, the situations in Pakistan, the actual happenings inside Pakistan. So any policy towards Pakistan cannot be India-centric, it has to be Pakistan-centric. So we have to only react, we cannot act as far as Pakistan is concerned. And the China-Pakistan bonhomie is also not a new thing. Pakistan has always remained a satellite country for any other country. For example, Pakistan was always playing game with US, Pakistan was always cozying up to Russia for some time, Pakistan is cozying up to China now. China economically benefits, China strategically benefits because of Pakistan. So these are all some of the aspects that we have to look into. When dealing with Pakistan, remember, we are not dealing with just one country, Pakistan. We are dealing with 3 power centers in Pakistan: the clergy, the army and the political establishment. Again, when we are dealing with Pakistan, we are dealing with China, we are dealing with Iran, we are dealing with Afghanistan, we are dealing with the US, and we are also dealing with CIS countries. So this is the kind of dynamics that come into play when we are dealing with Pakistan. So it is very easy to say that we are probably there is a flip-flop, but in fact, if you see, there has been no doubt a little bit of continuity as far as Pakistan policy is concerned, but at the same time there has been some kind of out of the box situation. We have been reacting to what Pakistan army has done to us. We have been able to give them a reply in their own terms and in a language that they will understand. But at the same time, we are dealing with the Pakistani civilian government, the politically elected government, in a way and manner in which they will try to understand. So we are not here to resolve the differences between the politically elected government and the army in Pakistan. We can only react to these two set of people in a different manner, and that is what the Modi government is doing. So therefore, I think our Pakistan policy is just good. Yes, if there are no results, it will come. But we cannot expect results from Pakistan overnight. Therefore, I strongly feel that India's Modi government's Pakistan policy is good, and we are doing very good as far as the situations are concerned.
Excuse me for a very bad throat there. But Mr. Chari is making a point, Mr. Khera, about the Pakistan policy, and I agree with him. You're not just dealing with the elected government there, you're actually dealing with various power centers, and the Congress has shown solidarity when it has come to things like, you know, the strike and all of that, the surgical strike. My question to you really is about the valley. While everybody is blaming the BJP for the worsening situation and turmoil in the valley, is the valley also a result of, you know, the kind of voices that come in from New Delhi? The government has one approach, the main opposition has the other. Should we be speaking to separatists? Should we not be speaking to separatists? You've got your leaders calling on the separatists, having a meeting when the elected government, does cry foul over that. So where does one strike that balance? I mean, it's very easy to blame the BJP and the PDP for the worsening situation, for this pact that they've gone into, which was perhaps very ill thought of. But my question really is, what is the message the Congress is trying to send out to? Are you cozying up to the separatists? Mr. Khera?
Supriya, I'll first respond briefly. Yeah, I'll first briefly respond to Seshadri Chari ji about Pakistan and the history of the problem. When it comes to claims of success, absolutely hollow claims, they say everything started in May 2014. When it comes to actual failures, oh, there is a history of the problem. So, very selective memory of history, I must say. Skill India has been in operation for the last 15 years, but no. 2014 Skill India came, coming back to Pakistan and Kashmir. Now, you say our leaders have been cozying up to Hurriyat. I draw your attention to the common agenda signed between the BJP and the PDP. Haven't they mentioned engaging with Hurriyat there? If they haven't, I'll quit politics right now. They mention it that they will engage with Hurriyat as Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji did. These are the words that have been mentioned there. But when Yashwant Sinha goes, everybody forgets. When Manishankar goes in his own capacity as an NGO, then they say, oh, Congress has been cozying up. Congress has its own group formed under Dr. Manmohan Singh last month to discuss Kashmir and to come up with some solutions and help the government. There is a complete flip-flop. Kashmir is a disaster. They have taken Kashmir back by 20-25 years. 2% participation in polling is not a joke. They have retarded the democracy in Kashmir. Let them acknowledge that the experiment of the PDP-BJP has collapsed. Prime Minister goes to Pakistan, then refuses to talk to them. Within 7 days of Prime Minister's visit, you get this army base under attack. So let's admit failures where they are. And successes, when they will succeed, we'll definitely acknowledge their successes. There are no successes on foreign policy. Look at what China is doing in Arunachal Pradesh. They have renamed 6 of our districts. This is unprecedented. So these are the failures of foreign policy, in fact disastrous failures of foreign policy that cannot be ignored.
Okay, Pavan, Varma, I'm going to begin this other leg with you. I mean, while we should and must be critical and must ask questions of the government, but I think we should also give the government where it is due. Would you not laud this government for an untarnished track record so far in the 3 years? No big cases of corruption or scams reported so far. And also the big attempt at ending VIP culture, doing away with beacons. I mean, isn't that something that you should and must praise the government for? Because we're saying we're non-partisan and we're not just talking about partisan politics here. Pavan, Varma?
No, I am willing to give credit because no governments are either entirely black or entirely white. We should not be guided only by partisan politics. And I think the Prime Minister, I would like to give him credit for well-intentioned moves like ending VIP culture by removing the red light. But I believe it's not enough because it's not followed up by an institutionally planned approach to whittle down the other props, the scaffoldings that support a VIP culture. And it's similar to his other slogans, Swachh Bharat. Without a nationwide plan being systematically implemented for sanitization and garbage removal and sewage disposal and so on and so forth, it means very little. Ma Gange is a slogan about Ma Ganga ne mujhe pukara hai. But you will see that very little has actually been done to either clean up the Ganga or even more importantly, to ensure its incessant flow. Because unless there is the flow, there can never be purity. So I am saying slogans have been there. They have been well-intentioned. To some extent, they may even have created awareness. And on the question of corruption, I want to say very clearly, we commend the government for some of its actions against corruption. But we also want to add the caveat that most of these actions seem to be taken against leaders of the opposition, which is all right so long as they are guilty. But what about the skeletons in the cupboards of the BJP? Why is the CBI proceeding so slowly in Vyapam? Why has there been no investigation on Lalit Modi and Rajasthan? What has happened to the PDF scam in Chhattisgarh? What about the land deals in Gujarat? My question is, if you are impartial, if you are sincere in your battle against corruption, you must be seen to be equally so against charges of corruption which are happening in your own backyard.
Seshadri, Chari, I want you to take that direct question that's coming in from Pavan Varma. If you are so well thought about and if you really want to eradicate corruption, why not begin the cleanup at home? The 4 things that he speaks about, Lalit Modi, PDS in Chhattisgarh, the land deals in Gujarat and Vyapam in Madhya Pradesh. Why is the CBI agency so slow on that? And if you really do have a case against Robert Vadra, why are you talking about this for the last 3 years? I mean, put him behind bars, but don't keep talking about it because it looks like you don't have sufficient proof. And which is why the opposition cries foul about vindictive politics.
All these accusations that we are going slow on this, slow on this, slow on that, slow on this, be it Vyapam or whatever it all emanates from the UPA government. Every time this government takes a particular stand on a particular issue, the moment it is said that this is vendetta politics, you are trying to put the opposition on a mat and you are doing this because of a politically motivated politics and all that. All this keeps on going on. So it's not that this government is not going to take the Vadra case seriously, they are going to do it. But I think the government or the CBI for that matter and the investigating agencies have the priorities. They have to go systematically, they have to collect proof, they have to make a strong case, and I think they are doing it. So I'm here now. I'm not here to suggest to this government that you go and arrest somebody and then put him in the jail and then try to investigate. We cannot behave like the UPA behaved with the kind of things that they did. So we have to go systematically. Law will take its own course. So we are not going to hurry in that as far as these things are concerned. But it is not vendetta politics. As far as other issues like Vyapam and other things are concerned, I think the cases are all going on. It will come to a logical conclusion when the time comes. So therefore, it's not that. But the fact is, every opposition party will have to agree on one thing, that this is 3rd year of this government, and they have the biggest thing is they have not been able to pinpoint even one act of corruption, whereas compared to what was happening in the UPA, this government has been able to show that it is a government with a difference as far as this thing, and the zero tolerance for corruption has really had its effect. So I think somewhere let them accept and agree that it is possible. I am prepared to agree and accept that a government like Bihar, where it is impossible to do governance without getting into corrupt deals, at least Nitish Babu is doing a little better than what was expected out of him. But at least I am sure Pawan Varma should come
to agree. I'm running out of time here, and so I'm going to come in with a question to Mr. Khera directly. Mr. Chari, please hold your thoughts there, sir. I'm running out of time. I have more ground to cover. Mr. Khera, very quickly, want you to respond very quickly to this one. Charges of corruption were rampant in UPA, but they aren't rampant in the BJP. Will you not say this is a cleaner government that they're trying to run? And the other question that I want to ask you very quickly, and please be brief on this one, is that the big green on this government report card is the electoral gains that they have made. So whatever they're doing, it looks like India at large is embracing that.
As far as corruption is concerned, I don't want to spoil the mood of Mr. Chari. It's the 3rd anniversary, but let's not ignore the GSPC scam as mentioned in the CAG report. I don't know why people have stopped reading the CAG report suddenly in the last 3 years. Let's not ignore the massive Tuar Dal scam. We are ending up paying 150 to 200% extra on the dals we buy. That's a corruption, that's a scam which hits every single common man. Wait and watch, their corruption will come tumbling out when all of you and me, the media starts reading the CAG reports. Unfortunately, we don't. We have ignored Raman Singh's son's foreign accounts. We have ignored Lalit Gate. We have ignored Malia. We've ignored this PDS scam. And Vyapam, I don't know why Mr. Chari says it was from the UPA days. Vyapam has been completely a Madhya Pradesh baby, and let's not ignore that. So let's we have, I mean, just that Vyapam is not UPA government scam, please. I mean, let me correct you on air.
It's very much a UPA government scam.
It is very much a UPA government.
Vyapam is Madhya Pradesh for the last 15 years. Madhya Pradesh has had a BJP government. You've forgotten. I don't like this transformation of an intellectual into a politician.
Okay, Mr. Chari, can I please come in with a direct question?
Vyapam has nothing to do with Digvijay Singh. It is Shivraj Singh. Full stop.
Okay, Mr. Chari. Okay, Mr. Khera, I get your point. Vyapam is not going to be dated back to the UPA, but I have a direct question for you, Mr. Chari. In the last 3 years, while your government has talked about development and job creation and Make in India or Swachh Bharat, what we have also seen simultaneously is this rise of hyper-nationalism, whether it's the Gaurakshaks, whether it's the anti-Romeo squad. I mean, that's moral policing of sorts. Will the BJP take the blame for it? Will you take the flak for it? Where does the buck on this stop?
No. This has nothing to do with hyper-nationalism. These are all law and order situations and law and order questions, and successive governments have done something or the other in these respects, and UP government is also doing the same thing now. And wherever there has been a case of lawlessness, wherever there has been a case of going out of the books, people have been brought to books, people have been arrested, those who have been misbehaved with the law or with the society or in the situations have been booked, have been arrested. Therefore, these things are being taken care of. But this is nothing to do with hyper-nationalism. These are all dealing with the situation in an out-of-box manner. That's all. I don't think this is something to do with hyper-nationalism at all.
I can't go over on this show, but
when he says out of the box, it's out of the coffin box.
With Mr. Chari here, I've got. Okay, Mr. Chari, it's out of the coffin box. Mr. Chari, very quickly, you have a lot of respect for democracy and democratically elected governments. Will your government take the blame for toppling democratic elected governments? You've been pulled up in the Supreme Court for that.
Which government? No. No, it was not so. We did not do anything that was out of the constitutional provisions. No, we did not do anything that was out of the constitutional provisions. Of course, on the point of law, if the Supreme Court has said that what was done was not according to the rule book, we have given it up, that's all. So it is nothing to do with that. And as far as forming governments in Goa and Manipur is concerned, I think it was the slackness of the Congress party that has given us governments.
So, Mr. Pawan Khera, will you have the last word on this show? We're seeing a very rising BJP because the Congress has just refused to put its house in order together.
Forget the Congress. They are celebrating the 3 years of their government. Let's comment on their government. What we'll do, and we'll show you the results. Even today, in our local body elections in Maharashtra, BJP has been demolished completely. So either the Maharashtra government has failed or Modi government. Let them decide that. What is happening in they promote people with hate speeches and they make them chief ministers, and then they say it's a law and order problem. You go and make chief ministers out of Adityanath and then say what's happening in Uttar Pradesh is a law and order problem. No sir, it's a completely designed pogrom that is happening in Uttar Pradesh, different districts. Look at Saharanpur, it's burning. So the caste war was something which Uttar Pradesh never saw before.
Mr. Varma.
Who has conceded?
Okay, Mr. Khera, I'm sorry I've completely out of time here, but the Congress has conceded electoral grounds to the BJP. On that note, I've completely run out of time on this edition. Thank you very, very much for being with us right here on ET Now. This is the big political view as far as Modi's 3 years in office are concerned. Thanks, viewers, for tuning in.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.